Hi everybody, welcome back. Tom Van back again for Kult of Athena for another blade review. Today we have the Hanwei Practical Norman Sword. This is a blunted trainer, so I'll put the scabbard down for right now. No edge on either side of this one, so this is a training sword. See, it's got some oil on it. That way it protects it any of the carbon steel when you're storing it in the wood scabbard. So we have an overall length of 36 inches. This would be a double-edged blade, just a straight type of arming sword. 36 inches overall length, 30-inch blade right before the guard, all the way to the tip. Get a close-up in on the tip, you'll see that it's very rounded. So if you're thrusting your training partner with a padded jacket on, you don't have to worry about that actually puncturing. So let me get some oil on my hands, but you'll see it has adequate flex to it. Not super bendy, but enough to where there is some impact to it. Kind of hard to see. Maybe we should do these in slow motion. When we come down to the grip, we'll see a leather wrapped grip here with little protrusions to hold the grip in place. So we come down to the handle now. So the handle is a leather wrapped grip. Got a wood core in there. I believe this is full tang. It would make sense for it to be, especially because you're going to go to contact with this. And this is reverse of a Filipino blade. So what do I mean by that? It tapers, the forefinger and the middle finger are the thickest part of the grip. The pinky and the ring finger actually taper to it being skinnier. You can see there's about a finger length of room in between your hand and the pommel. So if you are doing cuts that are more out in front in this type of fashion, you still have a little bit of give to it. It's not like a typical Viking sword, like the windlass battlecry Viking sword, where it's all the way up into the grip, so where you have to hold a 90 degrees between your weapon and your forearm. It's not like that. You still have a little bit of room. Actually, also, if you're wearing a glove, if you're wearing like a gauntlet or something, you still got some room on that as well. This is a cut and thrust sword. It is a straight sword, so if you had a shield, we just know obviously that the striking becomes more simple. If you don't have a shield and you gotta protect your flanks, you better be using slashing to protect yourself. Because thrusting ain't gonna do it with multiple opponents. Slashing is the primary really for this. We'll notice the length of it. This is pretty common with a lot of medieval swords and arming swords. If this touches the ground, it's right underneath my hip bone. And then if I fold this up, it goes almost right in line with, right above my head. And, you know, this seems like who cares, right? But there's actual tactical advantage in this, is that you cover yourself from all the way to the top of the head, from the head all the way down the knee, and from the head all the way down the knee. And when we come back up too, we cover the knee to the head, and the knee to the head. And you really don't need to actually even crouch down. Even if you're fighting out in front with this, you can still turn this down to parry or block, or to protect your head when you're on top as well. So now we go down to the scabbard. We'll see that we have two belt loops available. If you were to wear this underneath the belt right here, you can attach that if you'd like. It is a good draw, kind of like a movie draw. Come out to that. So it's nice and smooth. Hanwei does a really good job on the scabbard, as we'll see right here. Hardwood scabbard, nice and smooth. Also notice that on the scabbard, the steel tip right here has a pin in it, so if you do something stupid like this, or if you accidentally drop it, it would have been really bad if it would have broke, but it didn't break. So that's really just in case, or if you were carrying this and you were kneeling and something drags, you're not going to completely destroy your scabbard and then have to buy a very expensive scabbard to replace it. So this is a really good one here. I also forgot to mention the pommel. It's kind of like an ovally, like Brazilian nut pommel kind of thing. I will say that the pommel is peened. And I actually prefer this pommel to something like a wheel pommel or just a regular round one, because it allows the grip to to kind of rest. Because you'll notice that sometimes when you're throwing like horizontals, especially backhand horizontals, that you need something to catch your hand as you bring it back around. Kind of hard to see, like if I go slow. As soon as the wrist breaks over, you want to be able to feel that on the side of your hand, on the edge of your hand. It's just kind of an insurance policy. It's kind of like a handguard. So we come down to the handguard too. Not a handguard you'd be doing a lot of binding with or any kind of locking with. This is purely just so when you're thrusting with it, you'll see that your hand isn't sliding up it. So not a super pronounced handguard, but it's just fine. So what we'll do now is we'll do some pans of the blade just without the scabbard, and then in the scabbard so you can get a good look at this guy. Viking sword, Norman sword. So what we'll do now for the Hanwei Practical Norman Sword is we'll take some panning up and down of it without the scabbard, and then we'll take a look at it in the scabbard as well. All right, so then we have the scabbard. So this would be an appropriate weapon for reenactments, for sparring when you have like proper HEMA gear on. I wouldn't want to train with this really without any kind of gear on. You'd have to have like a thick gambeson, like a padded coat, some gloves, definitely a helmet. Or if it's just something cool that you want to hang up on the mantle, maybe over the fireplace, get like a nice sword stand, have it just. So now we got some panning up and down the Hanwei Practical Norman Sword. I'm going to just kind of move it around a little bit so you can see what it looks like in motion. And let's do it. It's a lot of range on it. You'll see on those low shots, it's got a lot of range to cover your flanks, and a lot of range on the horizontals as well. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the Hanwei Practical Norman Sword. This is a great training sword. Got a nice flat edge to it. That way you don't kill your friend when you're training with them. Got a little bit of a flex to it. I don't know if it's SCA regulation, but it is quite flexible. And I'm not like, oh, when I'm doing this either, just enough to where it'll flex. So it's definitely really good. If you have this one, or if you have the other sharp version that's just like this one, go ahead and comment below and let me know what you think about it. I really like the scabbard on this one as well. But in the meantime, if you let me know what your favorite sword is by Hanwei in the comments below, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll talk to you soon.